Hey guys, what is going on? It's Simon here from Get Into Crypto. I wanted to bring you a quick update on traditional markets. Little fun fact about me. I actually started in traditional markets myself. I was a analyst in a investment bank within a wealth management division, and then I moved into prop trading myself. I was trading oil spreads, and then moved on to short-term interest rates, European bond markets. So I've had a big interest in the traditional markets for a long, long time, as we now call them, coming from a crypto perspective. So obviously, yeah, let's jump into it because all the markets are correlated, they're all linked. Bitcoin is very much dependent on what happens in the other markets, because obviously you have this big pool of money and it's always moving around from sort of one home to the next home, one market to the next market. And obviously what happens in other markets will impact what happens in crypto. Certainly markets such as the dollar will have quite a heavy effect on all dollar denominated assets, and also stocks have had a sort of like a broad correlation with Bitcoin since its inception, and both of these assets, both stocks and Bitcoin, seem to have quite a negative correlation with the dollar. So of course, we can see that Bitcoin is holding up pretty well so far this week. Obviously, first day of the trading week, so it can all change tomorrow. We used to like to call Tuesday turnaround Tuesday, so it can be a day where we do see reversals in markets. But so far, Bitcoin looking relatively healthy. Over the last few days, sort of pushing up back above 19,000 and not too far off our all-time highs. So first market I wanted to check out was the dollar, because the dollar's really seen a lot of weakness over the last few months, and we're currently looking in fairly bad shape so far this week, printing a bit of a down candle here. What I wanted to look at on the dollar was the longer term chart. So here's a monthly chart of the dollar, and we can see that we were actually holding this ascending trend line over the last decade, really, and we've now broke through this on a monthly level, and we start to get weekly confirmations below. So this ascending trend line is now broke, and what I am targeting is for us to move down towards this 88 level, and potentially we've also got the 50% fib around that level too. So just under there, 87.5. So I do feel that the dollar over the next couple of months will work its way gradually down towards 88 and 87.5, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens there, whether we get some sort of correction and retracement sort of back up to around the 90s level, or whether we actually continue to come down, and maybe getting down sort of as low as 83s, I think, by or towards the end of 2021, which could coincide with obviously a big sort of explosion in the crypto markets. So yeah, dollar looking fairly weak, and obviously that is good for us. That if we are investing into assets such as Bitcoin, it should also be good for assets such as gold, and also the stock markets. So I wanted to take a quick look at stocks as well, and just to say that the S&P is looking really strong, just in terms of sort of like a monthly level. We've seen the S&P broadly kind of be in this channel, and it's now sort of started to consolidate above the top of this channel, and at its all-time highs. So looking really strong. I did notice that stocks are on a Tom DeMark 7, weekly 7 at the moment, and I think on the dollar want a 7 as well. So obviously dollar on a red 7, S&P on a green 7, The Nasdaq's the same as well. So it could be that we see a couple more weeks of upside and then some sort of retracement in the stocks, which would then coincide with a maybe a bit of a sort of move up in the dollar, perhaps might come back in towards these 20-week MAs. We've obviously talked about the significance of the 20-week MA when it comes to Bitcoin, and obviously we can see that also this 20-week MA we've rejected it as resistance on the dollar as well. So it is quite significant on the dollar too. And if we just go over to the S&P, where have we found our resistance? It's around that 20-week MA on the S&P as well. So yeah, it could all be lining up for some sort of extension into a 9 candle TD reversal, and that also could coincide potentially with some political news if Biden, for example, does get confirmed as president in a couple of weeks' time. Not saying that Trump is going to sort of give it up anytime soon by the looks of it, but yeah, it could be that, or it could obviously just be a natural pullback if we do push up a bit more. Obviously, nothing moves in a straight line, but I would have thought any pullback back in stocks is probably a decent opportunity to buy into. Obviously, not financial advice, but that is certainly what I am looking at myself in terms of looking to add to stocks on dips, and obviously that goes for crypto as well. And yeah, just quickly, we did mention gold, so we did say that we would expect gold to do quite well if the dollar was falling in value, but actually what we are seeing in gold is quite a pullback. Gold hasn't performed so well really over the last 6 months after it topped out early summer, and again a Tom DeMott weekly 9 there, and then we've started to come back and consolidate. So yeah, I mean, gold has let's just obviously give it some perspective. Gold has been on a big uptrend since the end of or late 2018 here, and that is some move for gold to make. So obviously gold it dipped as with all markets during the sort of pandemic, and then it's pretty much exploded since then due to a lot of the central bank printing, and right now it seems to be in a position whereby it looks like it could go either way. I personally think gold will do quite well. I don't think we're going to come straight down here. I would expect at least some sort of retest back above $2,000, and then potentially pushing on higher or coming back off again. Obviously, as a crypto investor, it does feel like Bitcoin is starting to potentially steal a little bit of the attraction away from gold. Obviously, there have been plenty of talk about Bitcoin's utility as a store of value, and obviously its advantages over something like gold in terms of the storage costs and the transaction fees and the broker fees and everything like this. Obviously, these costs associated with certainly storing physical gold are a lot higher, and potentially how gold is a store of value that was probably fit for the 20th century, but now in the 21st century, we've got something like Bitcoin, which is the future really. So yeah, I wouldn't be too concerned about gold as we are, but certainly if we do come and break this low, then it would be looking a lot more bearish for gold, and we might come back down a little bit lower. But at some point, I do expect us to come back up and make some sort of retest. So yeah, and also while we're here, obviously black gold, oil. We've seen oil start to do quite well over the last few weeks. It's come back up. It's obviously taken out the sort of post-pandemic highs, shall we say? But it's gonna start to run into some resistance just above $50. So yeah, I think oil should do quite well as obviously the global economy starts to move again, and it's yeah, I don't expect oil to see too much more downside from here, especially if we start to get some sort of inflation starting to creep into prices. It's likely, especially with the falling dollar as well, that oil remains propped up. So yeah, we'd be looking oil really to establish itself above 50, and then it can really start to move. And just looking at a sort of monthly chart, we can kind of see that we could connect some of these highs potentially into something like this. So I'd expect at some point for us to come up and retest this downward sloping trend line, and then yeah, oil will be needing to prove itself to see if it can break this, and that could then lead to a retest of around the sort of high 70s and the highs from 2018. So yeah, I think I will wrap it up there. Obviously, as we stand, Bitcoin's still looking strong, uh, dollar looking weak, stocks looking strong. So yeah, not financial advice, but obviously I'm looking to position myself accordingly in both crypto and a bit of stocks as well. One topic I would like to cover at some point is crypto stocks. So I'll probably do a video on cryptocurrency related stocks shortly. Somebody like me who's actually based in the UK, I can't invest in Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies directly through an ISA. However, I can invest in crypto stocks such as your micro strategies, your right blockchains, and things like this. So I will do a video soon covering those, and of course I'll be back with more crypto updates soon as well. So thanks for watching. Please, if you are enjoying the content, please do remember to like, comment, subscribe. That really help out the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.